Welcome aboard everyone, my name is Simon and we are the Whales of Wall Street. Today we're looking at IOTX on the exchange. IOTEX is the actual company business name, but we've spoken about this many times. There is an intro video that we've done previously already. Go and check that out. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. But more importantly, I just wanted to go through a couple of things. First of all, some updates on IOTX and just really keep emphasizing AI and IoT within blockchain, guys, because for me, like with the real world work that I do, I'm very heavily involved in AI and things like that. And I've seen the projections, I've seen the analysis of what's to come with these kind of technologies. And what I feel is like with blockchain, and this article really hits it on the head. I've done a couple of articles myself within the industry that I work in, and I'm trying to get people to realize like blockchain isn't just cryptocurrency. It is going to change the world for so many applications and reasons. So this here, for example, thank you CoinDesk for this article. Blockchain IoT market to be worth $5.8 billion by 2026. Okay, so all of these applications, IoT, so I'm not going to go into gigantic detail because it is in the intro video if you want to know more. And I solidly believe in this because of the, like I said, my real world integration with this. So IoT, Internet of Things, is basically any device or appliance or anything like that that is connected to the internet. Okay, so from these days, it's like your washing machine, kettles, obviously smartphones, smart cameras, smart bulbs, all of these things, Alexa, Google devices, etc. Okay, so that is the IoT application, but blockchain is going to take it to a completely another level in terms of integration of the full entire ecosystem. I'm talking about automation here and things like that. So let's say, for example, and I've mentioned this as an example before, healthcare, where we've eventually got sensor chips inside us, and this isn't conspiracy, this is a true thing. Go and look at the patents that Microsoft have got going through at the US government right now for human sensors, okay? Visa are doing biometric patents right now with the US government. Go and check all this stuff out. It's happening, whether you like it or not. And basically all this can be integrated. So let's say you've got like a health chip within inside you, operating within blockchain and 5G, etc. So what this means is your body then goes, Simon, you're going to have a heart attack, but not today. It's going to be in about a week's time if you continue in this way, or if in 5 days' time you're simply going to have one. So your whole life shuts down, and basically everything goes. You need to stay here. Ambulance has already been ordered. Take you to the hospital, but do the operation on the way to the hospital. By the time you get there, they'll restructure, show you through all the analysis, and then you're back home. And it's that kind of aspect. Same with travel. Okay, so travel is like you've booked a trip, booked a work trip abroad, and you've gone, okay, right, put that into my system, and that whole system's built on blockchain, and then everything's done for you. So the hotel's booked for you, and it's based on the algorithms and tokenomics, which has already been paid through the various tokens that you have in your exchange or using, and what that hotel allows as an acceptance, tender and currency, etc. And then you've got things like the taxi's been booked for you, the plane's been booked for you. Yeah, this is what I'm getting about, like the smart city approach was never always about 5G. It was about an ecosystem within it, tokenomics and all this smart contracts. Smart contracts are so important because now you've got like know your customer, right? And the smart contract in the sense that I don't need to now go on my Uber app to order a taxi, whatever. It was done it for me because it knows me as a person through my biometrics, through this, through that, and I'm a trustworthy person. The transaction's already been done without me having to do anything. Yeah, so that's just a very simple top line topic in my head that I wanted to share with you to get you an emphasis of what IoT and AI can potentially do. And that's just literally basic stuff. Honestly, I'm kind of ruining probably a potential video I could do on AI and IoT and really bringing that story to life in blockchain. But back to this point of IOTX, and there's loads of other ones. You've got Fetch AI, of course, which we do videos on, which is absolutely phenomenal project. IOTA, IOTA, which is again one I haven't introduced to you guys yet, but it's certainly one that I'm really passionate about. But IOTX, I think, was such an undervalued gem right now, and people complain about it because it doesn't do much movement or it's too low. Forget that. Just look into the tokenomics and look at what AI and IoT is. I mean, what more proof do you need? This is obviously like an estimation, but I'm telling you now from my industry experience that this is probably even undervalued, to be honest. But as a measurable aspect of 5.8 billion, that's, you're not saying that IOTX is going to take all of that, but they're certainly going to take a gigantic proportion of it because they're one of the first ones to have the blockchain technology put in place for it. So, you know, like I said, communication, smart devices, IoT devices, of course, automation, automotive rather, travel, everything you can possibly think of. Honestly, it's absolutely phenomenal. And another bit here as well, ecosystem update in August 21. So they've been listed personally, Coinbase, Binance, Huobi, I couldn't even say them properly, crypto.com. This, honestly, this is going to be phenomenal over the next 5-10 years. Forget the tokenomics, like the coin itself on the exchanges. I'm talking about it as a project, right? This thing is going massive places, trust me. And I think it's even still to this day a really good opportunity to get involved with it, get some gains from this next run as well as the runs coming up. Okay, so in the future, but check out their website, check out the Twitter. The Twitter, obviously they could do a bit more better like marketing and social media community engagement. I think they're improving that more and more, to be honest. But what I will say is, like, all of these things have had an effect on the chart. And I don't want to run away from that IoT AI topic. I will do a video on it because I can really bring some experience and knowledge into that area, and hopefully help you guys understand it a bit more, and also look at some other projects as well. We'll pull in like a whole AI topic. Okay, so let us know in the comments below if there's any particular ones you want us to cover. I've already got a list that is probably on there already, to be honest, but just in case, it's always good to engage, of course. Before we go into the chart properly, please make sure you like this video if you found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Let's get into this chart, guys. So we had some announcements previously of some exchange listings over here, which honestly, right, so I put my IOTX in staking on Binance, and I was like, oh good, right, well, it's pretty stable for the last however long, absolutely, like 1 cent, 2 cents. I thought, cool, put it in there. And then I'm not even joking, I did it 2 days before this happened. Okay, so I put it in around here, I think around beginning of August, and then literally started tailing up, and I thought, oh okay, that's interesting. And then this happened, these 2 days, and I thought, oh no, I've put it in staking. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, lockup days, oh well, it's going to take like a day and a half to come back. And I was like, okay, no, I'll just leave it, it's fine, don't worry. But then that happened. Like we went from 2 cents all the way up to, I think, 10, 12, yeah, nearly 12.5 cents. And then the day after, I was like, after this day, I was like, I can't believe I missed out on that. And then just like to wind me up even more, it went all the way up here to 14.8 cents. So in the space of 2-3 days, from that point of 2 cents to 15 cents, and I couldn't do anything about it because I was staking. So that's one point I always make in the videos, like take profits along the way, and also be cautious about staking, you know, when you're entering run positions. But that was quite a unique situation. And I did say on the couple of videos that we've done recently that I do anticipate this to come down, not because the product is terrible or anything, but because of this. There's no way in hell it could sustain that level of growth and not come back down. And I think it's progressive now because I think the awareness is built, and I do think as well that people have believed in what it is. And I think you know, this is a great opportunity for people to get into it, even at this stage, let alone where I've got my buy orders still down at this area. And why have I got those in there? Well, I explained this in the previous videos, but I'll do it again quickly now because of this, basically. And historically, we haven't had too many tests. I mean, we have had a few here, so this is one to look at again in the future at some point when we start tailing back upwards. But certainly at these levels, other than like maybe 1, 2, 3 bounces and this giant stretch through here, I haven't seen any. So that's why I put this in. And look what's happened in the last, well, 2 days prior to today. We hit it twice. So I've got that buy order in. Unfortunately not with assets of IOTX that I have currently from selling up that top, because as you know, I've missed out on the staking. But you know, reflect back on previous videos, you see I put them in there. we've hit that target there. I've still got this one in here because I do believe that at some point we might come and test this area, and that's why we started drawing the trend line downwards, because we anticipated that albeit we'll start seeing a step ladder approach downwards. We had a little tail up here, which was great. Yesterday obviously was not great, sorry, the day before yesterday, but then we had the big drop off yesterday and nothing really happened with it. So we had the tail off back into this buy zone and it reflected back, and I'm thinking this is actually a really good mechanism for this project now, because I always felt like down here is so undervalued, and that actually maybe returning to these levels up here is what we need to do. So it could be that we find some support here. It doesn't mean we have to come down here just because I've drawn this and the fact that it hasn't been tested a massive amount of times, but it could be actually to reflect on that we have a new support line around this 0.05 mark, and if that's the case, we can start pushing this back up here, and I do believe this will happen. If we can get a close today and over tomorrow over this kind of roughly 0.065 mark, I truly believe we can start staggering, a bit of sideways movement probably, and start pushing up to even higher. I'm not saying we're going back up to here immediately or very soon, but I can certainly anticipate that we might start seeing a trajectory in this kind of area. Let me just draw that, for example. So we might have like a similar situation to here, but in a reverse reflect, and maybe some profit taken. But I certainly think that over time, not like this again, unless we do some other crazy announcements, but certainly in this kind of not straight line, but that kind of wavy movement upwards. That's what I believe. And the RSI, going back to the point of purchasing, it's bang on 46 now. Obviously a couple of days ago is probably one of the best times to have done it, but certainly now is a great opportunity to get involved. Obviously it's not financial advice, and of course it can still come down because we are in a bearish momentum with this token, as I've mentioned previously, from up here staggering downwards. Okay, so just bear that in mind. But I think even around these prices, in terms of the rest of the run for the rest of this year and the future, this point in time is still a really good price point. But in terms of the RSI, we could wait for that to come down a bit lower. But more importantly for me is, I would actually, if I was buying today, thinking that is actually a phenomenal opportunity. And then obviously when it gets up to 70, 75, taking some good percentage profits. And then obviously if it gets to the highs of 80s, 90s, of course you adapt to that. This was unprecedented, so I'm not going to use that as a major example, but certainly this project's been floating around relatively level for some time. So you might need to go into a 4-hour chart to get some real emphasis on perhaps trading in this next month or so. But I'm a long-time holder of IOTX, so I'm not too massively disappointed with this, because I believe that this is now an opportunity to buy more at lower prices when it comes down. But yeah, hopefully this has kind of been a good eye-opener for you guys, a bit more information on IoT and AI. Like I said, we will do a proper video around that. And yeah, it's a number of projects that are really interesting to me in this space, because I know what blockchain's going to do, and 5G, etc. with this kind of tokenomics, and this opportunity is absolutely phenomenal. So as we've said, just keep an eye on this, because it is still in a bearish mode. I'm hoping that'll switch back over again, but I just still have a feeling we're going to test this area down here at some point. I'm sure of it. We've done it here. I'm sure we'll try it here before we start this momentum into this channel around this way, and then hopefully by the end of September, beginning of October, we'll start be tracking around maybe 10 cents hopefully, and then we can start pushing up for some even newer highs as we approach mid to end of October. And in the next video we'll try and do a price prediction as well, once we know a bit more stabilization on this chart. So guys, we'll wrap it up there. Let us know, as I said, in the comments below, if you're holding IOTX or any of the other AI or IoT related projects. I'm really interested to know. It's something I'm quite passionate about, so I really would appreciate the information from yourselves. And hopefully you guys have learned something today, and we will see you and hopefully IOTX on the moon and in the next video. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.